Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please do subscribe. Alexa, what's the time, please?
The time is 10:03 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Saturday the 21st of January.
Alexa, what's the weather like in Rochester?
Right now in Rochester, England, it's 0 degrees Celsius with clear skies and sun. Today's forecast has lots of clouds, with a high of 6 degrees and a low of -2 degrees.
And Alexa, can you tell me a joke? Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
Why couldn't the pirates play cards? Because the captain was standing on the deck.
When I got home last night, I was extremely tired. I carried what my mum had given me up the stairs because the lift is bust. And I didn't notice, I didn't look around the flat because when you're tired, I just wanted to get in, unwind, make myself a cup of coffee to wake myself up. So what happened last night was I took Max out for about 8 o'clock last night because by the time I'd had cups of coffee and I put my things away in the fridge, etc., it was about 8 o'clock when I took Max for a walk last night. There was hardly anybody about. It was dark and it was freezing cold, and I just took him out for a walk and I came back. And then I came indoors, and what I usually do is mess around on my phone. I mean, most people of all ages have got some sort of mobile phone game. Even older people have, even if it's Scrabble. So I was playing Scrabble, like word games, on my phone to occupy my evening. And I put the telly on, and I settled on A&E, Accident and Emergency. They show all the repeats of the accident and emergency, A&E. And I watched the one episode. It was about a bloke changing into a woman, and he'd hurt his finger. And I watched that, and there was a guy that damaged his penis and was finding it difficult to go to the toilet. He bruised his penis. And then I put another one on, and it was all about Whitney Houston had died at 48. Whitney Houston. So this lady had come in with a gash to her head. She'd split her head open and was having her tetanus and stitches. And they was all singing Whitney Houston songs in A&E. And this poor coloured boy had fallen off the second floor of a high-rise building, and they thought he was going to die, but he pulled through. So I was watching episodes of Accident and Emergency. Alexa, when did Whitney Houston die?
Whitney Houston died on the 11th of February 2012 at the age of 48 years.
So she died in 2012, so that is a 10 years old repeat. And she died in February, so February's not far off, is it? So that's 10 years old, that repeat. 10 years ago I was 34. Sorry, 44. 44. So Whitney Houston died 48, and I was 44 when Whitney Houston died. So I watched that. Quite horrific, these A&E things are, aren't they? They can be. And they put them on in the evening before people go to bed, obviously, because they show graphic images of people being stitched up and blood and etc. And then I noticed some lights, like, behind my sofa. So these are the Halloween lights. I never took them down. The Halloween lights above my sofa were down the back of my sofa. and my Christmas lights have been pulled right down. So I don't know if Max and Nikki, because I left them both together yesterday, had fun and games playing with the lights because they were all pulled down. You see, I keep the, because the Christmas lights double up as Easter lights and they double up as birthday lights as well, because, you know, they don't have to be Christmas lights, they're just on and on flashing multicoloured lights, and I leave them hung up. And they've come right down, so I've got to put them back up. I thought, what's that shining down the back of my sofa? And my lights were all over the back of the sofa, it was all shining. Eventually went to bed, settled down, and someone upstairs was wandering across the ceiling at 6:30, but I was so knackered that I just fell back to sleep anyway. Do you know what I mean? I'd had a busy day yesterday, so I just fell back to sleep. But someone was wandering about at 6:30 in the morning. So I got up and I thought, right, I'm going to take Max for a walk, which I have done. And it's freezing cold out there. I should take you outside. And this is Rochester. It's not Chatham, it's Rochester. So it is cold and it's frosty, but the sun's out, so it's quite nice. See? So I haven't moved anywhere, I'm still in the same place. I went up to see my son in London last Saturday, and it was quite tiring for me. And when I was up at my mum's, I looked on the YouTube channel, and by the way, my mum's managed to put her telly back on because it was stuck on the Amazon Fire Stick page and no signal, and she's managed to get it back on without my help, which is good. So I put the 10 places not to visit in London. That's what I watched yesterday, the 10 places not to visit, and one of them was Leicester Square, because it's very, very busy and you can get separated from your partner. And where was I taken to on Saturday? I was taken to Leicester Square. And my son, we left each other briefly when I went into the souvenir shop to buy the London hat I've been wearing. I wore it today, that London beanie hat. And he was filming Leicester Square while I went into the tourist attraction shop to get the beanie hats. And you can get lost in Leicester Square, it is so busy. There was a bloke singing, and crowds of people were around him while he was singing. He was a really, really good singer as well. But that is one of the places not to visit. So was Piccadilly Circus. Soho, so my son and I passed Soho and Chinatown. So we passed Soho. And also Madame Tussauds is not a place to visit either. That's what it said on this video that this guy had uploaded. So I'm lucky that I wasn't separated from my son in Leicester Square, because that is where people get lost apparently. Some people get lost. It was very, very busy. And that's where my son took me to McDonald's around there. It was packed out. I just happened to keep my wits about me. Do you know what I mean? As long as you've got your purse, you've got money to get home, you've got your mobile phone, then you're okay. Right? Because if you do get separated, you can phone the other person up on the phone and find each other. It's not for older people. You know, it's quite... My mum could not have coped walking around Leicester Square. I did enjoy the Diana statue. It was unfortunate that you could only see it from afar and you couldn't view it close up because it was closed off. So that was the only thing. But my son was able to put his arms through and get some nice photographs. So yeah, today I'm intending to relax, rest, recuperate. There is something going on with my left leg, the left one. It's not the first time it's happened. I've gone walking around the field and it's just gone while I've been walking. Not totally, you know, it just like folds up from underneath me. So I'm taking things easy. I'm going to make myself a nice lunch. I'm not surprised. I was on my feet for ages, and I'm not a young person. I mean, it can affect young people as well. You know, constantly walking, and the tube. I found the tube suffocating and smelly. And it's a long distances, and the last time I'd done that was when I went on to contact sessions to see my son, who was in foster care, and I used to carry heavy cases up the stairs because the lifts wouldn't be working and there wouldn't be anyone to help me. So I was, you know, when I first went on a contact session, and I didn't realise that I had to go on the tube. Even if it is from Victoria to Paddington, whatever, I didn't realise. So I took a great big long trolley case. I had 3 or 4 bags on each arm. And from Chatham to Gloucestershire is 4 hours on the train. 4 hours, and you've got to go through London as well, change. And I wasn't a young woman then, I was in my 40s. Going up and downstairs with trolley cases and things like that. And I don't know how I did it. I used to cut my hands. I've got a diary from 2009 going up and down to London and hurting myself. As you get older, you realise, you know, you've got to take it easy because you can't do the things you did when you was younger. However much you want to, you can't. Because it's going to have some effect at some stage if you burn yourself out. So guys, I hope everybody has a lovely weekend. And as for kids, like making noises, kids make noises. So when they go and yuck, whether it's coming from upstairs or outside, you've got to understand that kids are innocent. They don't understand. Kids do what they're told. I did when I was younger. If a parent takes you somewhere, you go with your parent. You do as you're told. So you can't blame kids for making rude noises. Parents are there to guide us, and you know, a child follows its parent. We can't always, parenting is a learning curve. We make mistakes, everybody does, especially with your first child. You don't know what to expect. I didn't know how to change a nappy, how to feed a baby. It's a learning curve, and I think sometimes we are judged and punished, and it's a bit harsh, especially when, some people that judge us haven't had children themselves and they don't know what it's like themselves. Max, so, life is hard. Life is a one-way journey, and sometimes we need a little bit of leeway and a bit of help instead of harsh treatment. That's all I'm saying.